In the headlines, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal Dogara, visit Wike in Rivers. Resident doctors give federal government 2-week ultimatum over welfare demands. Emirates cuts Nigerian flights over $85 million blocked funds. And on the foreign scene, Iraqi protesters storm parliament in Baghdad for the second time in a week. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike on Saturday meets former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, and the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, in Port Harcourt. Governor Wike on Friday also spoke vehemently about some misgivings in his political party, the People's Democratic Party, accusing its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, of lying against him. After a closed-door meeting with Lawal, Lawal said they visited a brother, describing Wike as an indispensable politician that fits into their aspiration to build an inclusive Nigeria. Members of the National Assembly have been advised against their threat to impeach the president over challenges of security in the country, as it is the responsibility of all to find solutions to the challenges. The presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, made the appeal while on a courtesy call on the Kwara State Governor in Ilorin. The report.
Accompanied by some national leaders of his party, the presidential candidate of the New Nigerian People's Party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, urged the National Assembly members not to be in a hurry to impeach the president, as the issue of insecurity affects everybody.
I'm not there. I don't know the facts that they have, but I want to, as their former colleague, I want them to tread very softly. They shouldn't be in a hurry to rock the boat. Yes, I know they have reasons to be worried, just like I'm very worried. I'm sure everybody in this country is worried about the security, because some of these things could happen to anybody. It could happen to the president, it could happen to even the governor.
On whether the country has the capacity and capability to win the war against insurgency, he affirmed that the Nigerian military forces are capable, but however advised the country to consult widely across the country in respect of political differences and also change the tactics being used presently.
Our soldiers are good enough to bring peace to this country. But there are certain requirements that the government has to look at. But even if they cannot do that, for whatever reason in their assessment, they should look at alternatives.
The Kwara State Governor, on his part, called for understanding and collaboration between politicians to bring about developments to the country in respect of differences.
Politicians, we're all on the same side trying to build a better nation. It's like football, where you have a team and then you look for a good coach. So we, the politicians, are the coaches, and we all have our ways of trying to win. It should be politics without bitterness. We should understand each other to see how we want to get to where we're going.
The two politicians agreed on the need for politicians to always consider the interest of the country first and join hands in providing solutions to the challenges facing the country.
The National Association of Resident Doctors has given the federal government 2 weeks to implement agreements concerning their welfare or face industrial action. The association gave the ultimatum after their National Executive Council meeting held in Lafia, Nasarawa State. In a communique signed by the NARD President, Dare Godia Ishaya, the doctors, who said they would reconvene in 2 weeks to review the progress made so far as it relates to their demands, and vowed to take further actions for which nationwide industrial harmony may not be guaranteed. The doctors are asking the federal government to expedite action on the payment of the newly reviewed Medical Residency Training Fund to its members, so its members can meet up with the closing date of examination registration as advertised by the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. They are also demanding, among other things, the immediate implementation and payment of the new hazard allowance and arrears as contained in the circular from the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission.
The Nigerian Governors Forum, stakeholders, and well-meaning Nigeria to prepare on the governors of ETP, who is owing our members 3 months in salary arrears, that of Igbo, who is owing our members 10 months in salary arrears, that of Odo, who is owing our members 5 months in salary arrears, and that of Gombe, who is owing our members 2 months in salary arrears, to urgently pay the arrears of the salaries and allowances owed our members in the state tertiary health institution as stated above, as this is becoming embarrassing. The NEC especially appreciates the governors of Delta, Benue, Lagos State, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and once more, the Governor of Nasarawa State for their effort in the adoption domestication of the Medical Residency Training Act 2017 and also payment of the Medical Residency Training Fund to resident doctors under their employment.
Now to matters of security, where suspected gunmen on Friday night invaded Shika village in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State and kidnapped the wife of a staff of New Bomali Polytechnic and her 3 children. Vigilante sources who claimed anonymity said the suspected bandits invaded the village at about 11 p.m. and went straight to the house of their target without any shooting. He said immediately after the attack, men of the vigilante group in the neighboring villages were subsequently alerted and blocked all exits. While escaping, the bandits abandoned one of the captives, a young girl, and ran for their lives. Confirming the attack, Zubairu Al-Hassan Ziku, council chairman, Giwa local government area, said he had received a report of the attackers that invaded the residence of one Malang Isa Umar, who works in the estate department, New Bomali Polytechnic, Zaria, and kidnapped 4 members of his family. And no fewer than 26 corpses of residents of Duma village in Tureta local government area of Sokoto state have been recovered. The victims reportedly drowned in an attempt to escape from a gun duel between security operatives and bandits in a nearby forest. Daily Trust learned that the incident occurred last Wednesday when operatives under Operation Hadarin Daji engaged suspected bandits who rustled livestock in some communities in neighboring Zamfara state. The public relations officer of the Sokoto Police Command, DSP Sanusi Abubakar, who confirmed the incident, however, dismissed the report that some of the residents were shot by the bandits, saying there was no gunshot injury to any of the recovered corpses. Meanwhile, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambwal of Sokoto State on Friday condoled with the people of Duma village over the incident. Meanwhile, men of the Ogun State Police Command have arrested a 53-year-old woman, Chinyere Nwozu, for stealing a 1-week-old baby boy. Statement by the Ogun State Police Public Relations Officer, Abimbola Oyeyemi, said the suspect was arrested when she was seen with a crying baby but could not breastfeed him as expected of a mother. This aroused the suspicion of some members of the public who quickly alerted the police at Sangota Divisional Headquarters. On interrogation, she confessed to the police that she is not the biological mother of the child, but that she bought the child somewhere in Agege area of Lagos State through one Ngozi Akaime at the rate of 500,000 naira. And a 27-year-old suspected leader of Eye cult group, Said Taiwo, who was arrested by policemen from the Inspector General of Police Intelligence Response Team, has given a chilling account of how his gang kills and cuts off hands of any rival cult member who runs into their trap. The suspect was arrested in Ogun State along with 2 other members of his killer squad, Oyede Suleiman and Isaiah Babatunde. They are allegedly responsible for most of the violent crime in Ogun State. The suspects have been under the close watch of the police because of their brutal killings. The Force Public Relations Officer, Muyiwa Adejobi, who confirmed the arrest of the cult members, also assured that other members of different cult groups responsible for the killings in Ogun State will be arrested.
My name is Sahid Tayo, aka Akerele. I am from Abeokuta. I am 27 years old. My father is from the Ita Ocean area of Abeokuta. I attended July's Nursery and Primary School, Ita Ocean, Abeokuta, and Anglican High School, Ibara, also in Abeokuta. I dropped out of school in SS2 in 2019. I was arrested for cultism. I am a member of the Black Arts Confraternity, popularly known as AYE. I was initiated into the group in 2018. I was initiated by Easy. He was the leader and the number one then. On my own, I cannot say that I have killed any number of persons. We operate as a group and we have killed many people. I cannot even say the number of people that we have killed. We were always instructed by our leaders in the group to go and kill. Anytime we kill any rival member, we used to cut off their hands. Other members of my killer group are Ben, Dreams. We use the severed hands for ritual. We have assorted arms and ammunition. There is hardly any arms you cannot find with our group. We have single and double barrel guns, AK-47 and many more. I was using double barrel gun for operation. I used to keep my gun with Rasky. He escaped on the day I was arrested by the police. We give the severed hands to a set of twins in the Ago Oka area of Isale, Ogun in Abeokuta. It has been long that we have been giving the severed hands of our rivals to the twins. That was how I met it.
The Nigerian army has rescued 3 more Chibok girls in Borno State. The theater commander of Operation Hadinke in its monthly update said 60 terrorists were neutralized and 120 arrested. It added that in the course of its operations, weapons were recovered. The theater commander of Operation Hadinke, Major General Christopher Musa, revealed that the number of those who surrendered rose to 70,593, adding that the command is on the lookout for Kuje prison escapees.
A typical example of the arrest on 13 July 2022 of one Mr. Haruna Fulani and Umaru, who were suspected logistics suppliers to the terrorist Commander Ali Nguli at Mangara Mountains, around Goza General area. Items recovered include 13 bundles of female wrappers, 20 yards of black cotton clothes, female underwear, 25 pairs of rubber shoes, and other items. We have also gone further to ensure that we identify those ones that those escapees from Kuje prison. We've identified their gotten and their pictures. We have for the same as posters to our troops. Any of them that decides to come back to the northeast, well, he will come and meet his Messiah from here. I want to assure you that the theater remains very focused. We know there are so many challenges all over the country, but here we remain focused in our activities to ensure that we do not give them any breathing space. Rescued on the 26th of July by same troops of 21 Special Armored Brigade in Bama. And since then, they have been with us and giving them the necessary medical care. Now they are here with you so that you can see them physically and interface with them. For Sarah Luca, if you check that list, you'll see Sarah Luca there. You think that's an error because what the girl we have here, she started junior secondary school from the government secondary school Chibok, and her name is actually Kauna Luca. Thank you very much.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come on the news, Katsina citizens urged to imitate philanthropists. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now, a recap of our top stories. Former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal Dogara, visit Wike in Rivers. And resident doctors give federal government 2-week ultimatum over welfare demands. And now moving on to other news. The Sokoto State Government has declared Monday, August 1st, as a work-free day to mark the commencement of the Islamic New Year. Governor Aminu Tambuwal made the declaration in a statement he personally signed on Friday in Sokoto. He urged residents to bear in mind the divine lessons of the month as one of the 4 sacred months of the year when warfare is forbidden. He urged the people to eschew bitterness, rancor, restiveness, and wanton violence. Meanwhile, the Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari says his administration is making deliberate efforts to improve healthcare delivery in the state, even as he commends a philanthropist who donated a ward to Katsina General Hospital. The project was initiated to complement government's restoration agenda in the health sector. Abdullahi Yamadi reports that the 24-bed ward is fully equipped to provide conducive and affordable healthcare services. His report.
The Katsina General Hospital, which started as a dispensary in the 1950s, is now a referral center for all general hospitals across the state, thanks to stakeholders who challenged well-meaning individuals in the state to contribute to the health sector in order to bring quality health care to the people. I used to wonder if I see huge investments of Katsina people elsewhere, and I always ask myself, why shouldn't they do similar thing in Katsina? What is worth doing elsewhere is worth doing in your locality. Concerned by this insignificant number of staff manning most of the public hospitals, Governor Masari said modalities are on ground to address the inadequacy. While responding to claims made by the Commissioner of Health over the increasing number of trained doctors and nurses leaving the state for a greener pasture, Masari admits that the development is healthy for the state.
We said we are coming to restore Katsina to its lost glory and dignity. We concentrated on education, health, water, agriculture, security, youth empowerment. This was identified 5 items that were confronted despite the paucity of funds.
The decision to construct the facility is welcomed, as many believe the government alone cannot restore the dwindling fortunes of health sector.
The most recent addition through the effort of the administration of His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Right Honorable Amin Bella Masari include outpatient department, radiology complex, ENT unit, mortuary pediatrics complex, conference hall, and medical records department. The hospital has received a total rehabilitation of numerous wards and units and new asphalted roads by this administration, which is a commendable effort.
For many, this is a clarion call to others who have the capacity both at home and the diaspora to contribute in bringing positive development to the state.
I also extend my sincere appreciation to His Excellency for granting our request to dedicate the facility we are commissioning today to immortalize his beloved mother, late Hajia Maria Idris Masari of blessed memory.
Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News.
The federal government says at least 18 billion naira has been expended on the National Social Investment Program for 183,193 beneficiaries in Niger State in the past 7 years. The focal person of the National Social Investment Program in the state, Amina Musa Gwar, made this known when beneficiaries held a thank you 2-kilometer road march on the impact of the program. The report.
Amina said 25,888 benefited from the N-Power program, while 80,000 households benefited from the conditional cash transfer. Other categories of beneficiaries were 14,000 under homegrown school feeding, 53,849 benefited under trader money, 8,263 from market money, while 62,112 farmers received up to 300,000 soft loans under farmers' money.
So the way we have structured the implementation process has made it easy for us. They have program managers. Then you go down to desk officers in the various local governments, and then we even go as far as ward, and then we go as far as communities. So, we are able to capture all these beneficiaries, and we are what we call independent managers.
The program manager, Homegrown School Feeding Program, Usman Ndashaba, said the concern of hygiene earlier raised by parents and the State House of Assembly had been addressed through strict supervision of cooks.
We are not perfect in the system, even though we are doing this program as far as this country is concerned. We have some challenges, and some of the challenges are some of the schools within the state are not yet captured. That's one. Two, we are having some small challenges in mandatory areas where the children cannot sit down comfortably and feed. Some of them are relocated to IDPs, some of them are relocated to some schools in neighboring communities. Thirdly, some of our challenges are the cooks. Some that are in riverine areas, sometimes it's very hard for them to get some of their items as at when we are trying hard to ensure that these abnormalities are corrected. Inshallah, we are on third tranche feeding of 2022.
Some of the N-Power beneficiaries who lamented that their June stipends had not been paid called on the federal government to absorb them into the federal civil service.
All the STFs will come them because they are the ones that used to guide us through how to use the money that we are given. So I thank them all.
Emirates Airlines has said it will reduce its flight operations to Nigeria due to its inability to repatriate about $85 million in revenue. The airline made this known in a letter addressed to the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika. The letter, dated July 22nd, was signed by Emirates Airline Divisional Senior Vice President, International Affairs, Sheikh Majid Al Mualla. Emirates said the planned reductions in its operations in Nigeria will take effect from August 15th. It added that flights would be reduced from 11 per week to 7 at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport. Now, access to infrastructure, power, skills and market has been identified as the major challenges facing business owners in Nigeria. The Executive Secretary of Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, Teju Abisoye, who disclosed this in an interview with Trust TV, said that the lack of infrastructure, especially power, increased the operational costs of most businesses in the country. The report.
Abisoye said there is a need for the government and private sector to collaborate to address the growing rate of unemployment in the country, adding that with proper engagement, most of the challenges facing businesses in Nigeria would be addressed, while urging the youth to take advantage of the opportunities created by the agency to build their businesses and entrepreneurship skills. Abisoye noted that the agency is committed to job creation.
So I think, there's no doubt that doing business in Nigeria or Lagos is not easy because there are many challenges. One is access to infrastructure or power. It's a major operational cost dilemma for business owners. But in addition, I'll say that it's also a challenge around access to skills. So businesses have jobs, but they don't have the right people to take those jobs in the ecosystem. And now then they also have issues around access to market. So some people are producing below capacity because they don't have where to sell it to.
According to her, the funds had created over 165,206 jobs for Lagos residents and intervened in over 49,764 medium and small-scale enterprises, among other success stories.
We've seen situations where businesses have grown from one location to 10. We've seen situations where businesses have opened factories. We've seen, so from a small manufacturing hub in the house to now opening a big factory. We've seen where an individual started with a startup loan, has now started another business, running that one and running that other business. We've seen where people have gotten skills and they're doing a lot more than even we thought they were going to be able to do, graduating from our skills training, starting to work, and then able to go back to school to improve that skill.
She said 16% of the agency's portfolio is dedicated to supporting technology and innovation.
And on the foreign scene, protesters have once again breached Iraq's parliament in a show of support for influential Shia leader Muqtada al-Sadr, leaving at least 125 people injured and escalating a political standoff. Saturday's protest comes days after protesters stormed the legislative body and suspended a session to nominate a new prime minister. Thousands of supporters rallied by al-Sadr and his Sadrist movement tore down concrete barriers and entered the Green Zone, which houses government departments and foreign missions, before breaking into parliament. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.